Well, the Packers miss out on opportunity to beat the Minnesota Vikings, and it does not go well for the Packers. Almost came back and won, but had to lose to Aaron Jones and his team, folks. Unfortunate. Let's head to the intro.
This is Tom Grossi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to PackReacts. I'm your host, Jeremy Hadler, along with our other host, Mike Arvonio. And today we'll be discussing the Packers. Jordan Love returning back from last week. He returned finally coming off that terrible injury. And we'll be giving a preview of the Packers' upcoming game against the Los Angeles Rams and discuss maybe Devontae Adams comes back, which is most unlikely going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. First thing to address though, folks, like to get off for us is sorry for being late. We were trying to get Twitter or X, that we should call it, try a live stream, but Elon Musk was being very annoying to us.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Elon, but can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, sorry. I'm a big fan of Elon, but the thing is now they're charging people to live stream on X, which is okay. I guess they have to make money, but we did purchase premium, so we will be verified very soon. I guess it's a milestone for the channel, otherwise known as we're just trying to pay for it. But yeah, apparently you need to wait for them to verify it before you go live. So we are not live on X today, but we will be soon. So
yes.
Next episode.
Yes, hopefully next episode we are live, though, folks. And Mike is finally back here after missing out too.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I think this is probably going to be a tough season for me. I have a lot of work to do, and today I'm taking a break. Worked pretty late last night. Worked late the night before. Probably working after this, but I'm taking a little bit of a break for the show. So sorry, guys. Jeremy's been holding down the fort. I believe you were solo last week, right? But then 2 weeks ago you had your friend. So thanks for stepping in. I've only missed 3 shows now, I think, or maybe 4, I think. But Jeremy never misses a show. I think I missed 4. 2 shows in the last 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one when you had your friend that's a Cleveland Browns fan on.
Yep.
And then one where I think I was just in the city and I think you did it by yourself. Or maybe that was the day. No, it wasn't the Cleveland Browns friends. It was another day.
Yeah.
So I think it was sports. So. But Jeremy doesn't miss anything. He holds down the fort all the time.
Yep. So we're holding down the fort still, folks, keeping the torch alive here. And yeah, so as I mentioned before, we'll be discussing recapping the Packers-Vikings game, break that down, then give you a preview of Packers-Rams game upcoming this week. Unfortunately for Mike, the Packers game will be on CBS for everyone in the country except in New York.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's okay. I think I'm going to go to the bar anyway in the city. So.
There you go. So there's that. And yeah, and also to keep up with us, if you don't want to watch us live like we're doing now, you could always watch us or listen to us on Spotify with our podcast, because every episode after we go live gets uploaded to Spotify. So if you want to now listen to us, watch us live, you always listen to the Spotify account. And
are you doing it all the time?
Yes.
Got a lot of work?
Yes. I got it working, uploaded, all that. And yeah, so
how much work is it? How much work is it to do? It
takes like 5 minutes.
Oh, well, I should do it the whole time.
Yeah, so what I pretty much have to do is I just convert into a MP3 file, and then I upload to my one site that I have to use for Spotify, and then it gets uploaded, and then every episode. Unfortunately, I cannot find anything on Apple Music. I still have to get into that. I still have to do more research on that part, but I will try. But Spotify, it's a lot better than what I had to do, better than what we had to do last year, Mike, because with the Podbeam and all that, it was time constrained. So it would go the max of 44 minutes. and would literally cut you off if we were in the middle of talking. This one allows you to talk and gets the whole episode as we're doing it.
Nice.
So yeah, there is that, folks. For if anyone's interested in listening to us on the podcast, go listen to us on Spotify because we're carrying the G here as we always are for the Packers.
There you go.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. All right.
We're back. We're back.
Yes.
Not a great week to be back.
No.
But Jordan Love is also back, and that's the name of our episode today. Jordan Love returns.
Yeah.
Only 2 weeks. 2 weeks after an injury that looked pretty bad in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been, in the moment, could have been an ACL we were worried about, right? Ended up being an MCL, but a pretty low degree strain. I got to be honest, Jordan did look pretty
rusty.
I didn't say rusty, but he looked like he was favoring that leg for a bit in the beginning of the game. I think he definitely opened up as the game went on. I believe he had a career game stat-wise, although don't forget we're playing far behind quite a bit for most of that game. They did have a legitimate chance to win after the fumble recovery.
Mm-hmm.
But they never really in that game. Vikings, I'll give it to the Vikings. I think we were telling John this because I was at the game with John and his family in the city last week at Kettle Fish. So if you guys were anybody watching is at Kettle, definitely leave a comment. We're planning on going this week. Also, leave a comment. But anyway, that was pretty exciting when I got the fumble recovery. Definitely thought that there was a chance they came back because second half was really all the Packers. But don't forget, the Vikings were playing max protect, trying to keep everything in front of them, giving us, small chunks of yardage, trying to make them, use time. And it was working, although they did not expect or did not account for Sam Darnold's fumble.
Yeah.
Which almost put the Packers back in the game. But they could not play defense after that, and then let them score again, and that basically ended.
Mm-hmm.
So not a good loss for the Packers.
No.
We're 2-2 now, so 500. Not a great record. 4 games in.
It's better than what than a lot of us thought after the first game. What happened with the injury? So because it could be a lot worse, Mike.
It absolutely could be a lot worse. But here's the thing: losing this game could put the division out of reach. The Vikings look pretty good. I don't think that they're going to turn off their ability to win games anytime soon. So considering that 4-0, arguably the best team in the league at the moment, Packers now have a loss to them at home. So if they're going to even up the series, they're going to have to go into Minnesota and win.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough. And the Vikings look like they're a pretty well-coached team.
Yes.
Obviously, they have weapons at receiver. The defense seems to be pretty good. I don't think Sam Darnold's lighting up the world anytime soon, but he's also doing what he needs to do in that system.
Mm-hmm.
So you really can't give him any grief.
Yeah.
And Aaron Jones, of course, I'll be honest, Aaron Jones was
He was quiet.
He was pretty quiet the whole game. In the beginning, they definitely were going to him quite a bit, that first drive or two. But after that, I honestly forgot he was even playing. So the Packers did a pretty good job on defense overall, although I think they got burned quite a bit by Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison had a big day, in my opinion.
Yep.
And then Jefferson had a big day. But, there was one touchdown that literally Sam Darnold put it in the perfect spot, and Jefferson, caught it. It was a really nice catch. The catch on the sideline was insane. That was a nice catch by Jefferson. They got good receivers, good weapons on the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Good coach. I think we underestimated the Vikings. I really think we did.
I totally agree, Mike. Totally.
We all saw Kirk Cousins leave and thought that the Vikings would be not that good, but I think we underestimated their coach and the ability that he could kind of plug and play someone like Sam Darnold, who, don't forget, was the number 1 overall pick not too long ago. So he went to the Jets. Then he went to I forget exactly where he went after that. Carolina, right? And he got traded to Carolina, and then maybe he was in San Francisco for a little bit. Is
He was backup last year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So now he's in Minnesota, and it looks like he's kind of caught his groove. Where you've seen quarterbacks do that before. Look at Baker Mayfield, right, in Tampa Bay compared to Cleveland, and then Baker was also in the Rams for a little bit. So Sam Darnold could be similar to Baker. I mean, Baker's very similar. Baker was the number 1 overall pick that year, right? And then Sam Darnold was number 2 to the Jets.
Yes.
So, literally back-to-back picks kind of have similar trajectories. And I misspoke saying Sam Darnold was number 1 overall pick. My bad about that. But yeah, that not a great loss for the Packers. I mean, you hate to say that a game in Week 4 is a playoff game, but that really was a playoff game in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers go from being tied for first in the division with beating, like if they would have beat the Vikings, right? With a game tiebreaker basically on the Vikings, to now being tied for last in the division with the Bears and the Lions and Vikings in front of you. So that's not great.
No.
Plus, they also never really were in that game at home with Jordan Love returning. So it's definitely worrying. I wouldn't want to say that the division's out of reach at the moment. I mean, we're 4 weeks in. We're only 2 games or 2.5 games back.
Yeah.
But I would also say that unless the Vikings prove to be a fluke and lose a bunch, you don't forget you have the Lions to worry about. Technically, we're not even in front of the Bears.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about the Bears, but the Packers need to start playing much better than they did last week if the division's even in the question. The wild card's the wild card. I mean, it's a little bit too early to talk about that, but this was an important game to win, and they laid an egg. I mean, they really did. Although they did, make it close at the end, but I don't really think anyone ever thought they were in that game.
No, I mean, I didn't get to watch the game, Mike, because I was in Baltimore working the Ravens-Bills game when it happened. So I didn't get to do that, but I did get a bunch of texts when I was going down to the game when it happened. And like, as soon as I saw it was like already 21-0, I was like, all right, this game's way over. No way this team has a shot. Then I keep getting updates then I keep getting text messages. I'm like, the Packers are making a ride too. And I'm like, don't give me hope. There's no way we're going to make it. And somehow we almost made it. And a couple things I will say is our kicker kept missing field goals twice in that game. Hurt the Packers a lot in that game. Jordan Love looked a bit rusty coming off his first game, which isn't too bad. There was one interception that wasn't his fault. Then there was another one that was his fault. And he pretty much pulled a Brett Favre day, I will say, Mike, because he was slinging it. He was throwing it hard. He had what a Brett Favre day you could have with 389 passing yards and 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Like, he pretty much had a Brett Favre day, in my opinion. The run game, I mean, you wish it could have been better. I mean, 9 carries for 51 yards for Josh Jacobs. Again, you would have liked to see that a bit better. I'd like to see him have a breakout game because we haven't seen that yet. Passing game, I mean, Jane Reed, fantastic. 7 catches for 139 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. He's going to be fantastic. Dontavian Wicks, annoying to watch because he kept dropping good ball placement. He had right in his hands, and he kept dropping the ball. He did have a good day, but like still, he could have had so much more of like making those simple, easy catches. Could have helped the Packers out a lot more. Then Tucker Kraft, he had the nice touchdown, but had fun with that football that gave the momentum away for the Packers. Just terrible. Then defensively, we gave Sam Darnold all day. We gave him no pressure, and the pass rush has to get better. Where has Rashawn Gary been? Where has Kenny Clark been? Because those two have not shown up for me. And that has been annoyance to me, Mike, because obviously Rashawn Gary would have had the 1 sack against Tennessee if Preston Smith wasn't offside. But we haven't seen Rashawn Gary get the pressure on quarterbacks. We need to see better out of him because we paid him money, and we're expecting elite out of him, and we're not seeing that. So that really annoys me there. Obviously, not having Jair really hurts them because you had to have Keyshawn Nixon on Justin Jefferson. You had to move guys around Eric Stokes, and they were just getting burned out. So that didn't help me there. I will say, though, that the Packers defense did do well for the run against the rush. Besides the Jordan Addison touchdown, they held Aaron Jones despite 93 yards on 22 carries. They held him down to a bit. But I will say that Xavier McKinney, fantastic once again. He has his 4th interception in 4 games. He's pulling Deron Bland from the Dallas Cowboys last year. So that was a great signing we have from him so far as looking at it. But overall, I mean, the defense, they were just flat out bad the first half, and then they actually made adjustments. I will credit them on that in this second half. They only allowed 3 points, which is pretty good. But you cannot allow 28 points in the first half. You really can't, and especially when you're giving Sam Darnold all day. I mean, Keyshawn Nixon had that snap the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands and caused the turnover there, the fumble. But, I mean, Keyshawn got burned. It just was terrible there from seeing that, Mike. It really was.
And I think you mentioned something interesting about Dontavian Wicks. Definitely not having a great season. The ball was a little bit low on the play I'm talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Catchable, but, I can't put it all on him. I think the ball was a little bit low from Jordan Love. But I think that drive where Narvison missed the field goal, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry if I'm mistaken, but I believe Dontavian Wicks had that in his hands, hit his fingertips, went incomplete. However, if he's able to bring that in, that's an easy touchdown. I mean, the cornerback is probably at least a yard behind him. He's running full speed, able to wrangle that one in. There's literally no linebacker or anybody on the other side of the guy being blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 7 points off the board. Now, should have been 3, really 4 points off the board because Narvison just got the field goal. But that's 7 points off the board because he missed the field goal. So that's the game right there. Now,
there's multiple of that, though.
Yeah, granted, they would have played the game differently, but they also wouldn't have been down 28-0. They go, 28-7 going into 2 minutes left to the half, and then they got the touchdown before because of the botched punt, which I think that's kind of a silly rule that you can't advance a muff punt. I don't really understand that one, but yeah, I mean, it didn't end up mattering anyway. Although they almost didn't get the touchdown with the LaFleur penalty there. So I mean, you cannot start the game going down 28 points. I mean, that's basically a dagger for the rest of the game. Yeah. They did bounce back pretty well. I'll give them that. They definitely bounced back well. Jordan Love, I believe, had a career game stat-wise.
Yes.
But you can't go down 28 points to start the game and expect to win, especially at home against your division rival. It's not going to be something that gets the job done at the end of the day, and that's what happened, and you got to move on to the next. Luckily, we have the Rams coming up, who the Rams have not had a great season, definitely are pretty injury-prone right now.
Yep.
But you also know, whenever the Packers go to California, you know our struggles there. So there's no easy win this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then going back to what you said about Matt LaFleur, the penalty there, I mean, they're still struggling with the penalty spike of every single time they're leading the league in penalties, especially on the offense, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, the holding calls are just way too many holding calls.
Yeah.
And, something like what happened on LaFleur shouldn't have happened. There was also there was a call before that should have been called, I thought. What do you call it? I forget. I think defensive pass interference, or maybe I'm missing something. Was it this game or another game? No, I think it was this game where the guy literally threw.
I think
the Packers guy down, and they didn't call that.
No, that was another. That was
last week.
Yeah, I think it was against Tennessee. Yes, it was Tennessee's game because that was where I think it was Jaden Reed. I think it was Jaden Reed because it was Ladarius Sneed, and he literally threw him down when the ball was way out, and he didn't get even flagged at all.
Yep. Okay, my bad.
But yeah, no, just annoying there. Quick comment before we move on. We got is should they cut Navarson?
No, I mean it's still a bit too early for that. Who else are you going to go with at this point? He had 2 missed kicks. I know he missed another kick last week, and it ended up not mattering because it was a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't watch the first 2 games. I don't think he missed any kicks in the first 2 games, did he?
He did.
He did?
He's missed at least one per game.
In every game?
Every game. It's the Anders Carl situation all over again for us, Mike. It's literally Eagles won, he missed one there. Missed one. Actually, no, I don't think Tennessee he did not. He did not miss one.
But
Tennessee
he did because
the flag. It was the flag, so that's why he
but
technically
he
didn't miss it. But
he didn't, but yeah.
Yeah.
We all know he missed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I still think it's a little bit early. I mean, they obviously didn't invest the training camp in him, but they did go with him after the fact. I think he has potential. Do I think he's your long-term answer past this year? Probably not, based off of what we've seen so far. But just have to be realistic. It's not like there's a ton of good kickers on the free agent market.
Yeah.
Right. People are just not giving away their top-notch kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I said, kicker is one of those positions where, you marry a kicker, you don't date a kicker. You want a kicker for the next 15 years. You don't want a guy that is basically a revolving door. Yeah. Do you know if Anders Carlson has a job right now?
He does not have a job right now. I believe he does not. From my knowledge, the only person I know that does have a job, Mike, is Greg Joseph with the Giants.
Right. Yep. I mean, I don't think it hurts to bring him onto the practice squad and then basically just have a kicking competition.
Yeah.
Every week and see who does better and then play whoever does better. I mean, I don't think that hurts in theory. If anything, I do something like that. We have 2 kickers, one that is on the practice squad, one that's on the active roster. You elevate if you go with the practice squad kicker that week, you elevate him, right? I think, is there unlimited elevations now?
I think so.
You could do 2. You have to look at that. I honestly am not too close to the elevation rules, but if you do an elevation, you basically like having another roster spot, which is why they can't be unlimited. Right? Otherwise, you would have unlimited roster spots, or as many roster spots are on the practice squad, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily unlimited, but you have to look at the rules. But anyway, you definitely can do it at least twice, right? And what you do is if you want to go with that guy over Narveson, then that's when you cut Narveson, right? And you can always bring Narveson back to the practice squad after. Just swap every 2 weeks if that's what's changing. But that's assuming that you don't have a stalwart kicker, right? Every week I would have a kicking competition between these 2 guys. Whoever kicks the most field goals and doesn't miss gets to start that week, right? And it just kind of go back and forth because right now we're not in love with any of the kickers, right?
No.
We're kind of dating around and we're like, oh, wow, it doesn't seem like we're in a good position right now.
It seems like we're Taylor Swift, Mike. We're just picking new people every week.
Yeah, we haven't found our Travis Kelce yet. Where he just kind of, is it me or is it the dating pool? Right? I don't know, but it's right now. I think that's the situation we're in. Right?
Yeah.
No one's getting married to Brandon Narveson anytime soon.
No.
But no one's also knocking on our door that's of that material either. So I think we're in a position where let's see what's out there. And I don't think Narveson's time is up in Green Bay because I don't think he's had enough time. I think there's still time to be seen. I think he's our best option right now because he's been in the building for 4 weeks. And I don't think that you be, emotional here and make a rash decision. But at the same time, we're not married to him. So if he doesn't pick it up, he's got to know that he's on the clock. I mean, he's on the chopping block every kick that goes out there at this point. I mean, you can't miss this many kicks when people didn't even know if he was the guy to begin with, because we kind of got him off a waiver wire and then miss all these kicks and then expect that his leash is going to be long. I mean, he's not basically a short leash right now. Like if he keeps missing kicks, that's going to cost us the game. Like, I mean, in a lot of ways, he kind of cost us. His missed kicks cost us the Vikings game. I mean, we lost by 2 points, right? So, he missed 2 kicks at 6 points. No, I don't think that you can say he lost the game because his kicks were early enough in the game where it did change the trajectory of how they played because of the points on the board. So it's not as easy to just say, well, if you add 6, you beat them, because that's not the reality. But 3 points, and that's any single field goal, right? Can completely change the trajectory of the game. Yep. And what he cannot be doing is missing 38-yard kicks. I mean, especially in Lambeau, the nicest weather you're going to have all season in Lambeau.
Yeah,
he's at home, beautiful weather. If he misses a 38-yarder again, that's when I cut him. I mean, that's inexcusable. In perfect weather at home, I mean, that's your job. If you can't make a 38-yarder, put us out there, because honestly, we can't make a 38-yarder either. So he's got to make that kick. Missing that kick was not good. That was not a good kick to miss, and he can't keep doing it. But right now, where I'm at is I'm basically right at the line with him. He misses another kick. I don't know if I cut him there, but he misses 2 kicks in the span of a game or 2, and then I cut him. I think he's at 2 kicks missed in 2 games.
You're on your final strike, dude.
I think he's got 2 more strikes.
2 more strikes.
All right. I mean, we don't have 3 strikes, you're out, right? It's missing kicks. Grant, talk about baseball. The Brewers right now are up 2-0 on the Mets.
Woohoo!
I got a lot of Mets fans that I'm friends with. They're going to be worried right now. And the Mets had a chance to put them away yesterday. Couldn't do it. And now, I'm sure most of our viewers are probably Brewers fans. So I do have a Brewers shirt. I'm kind of on the fence because a lot of my friends are Mets fans. So, I don't want to, give them a hard time. I want to help them. I want to see the Mets do okay. But, Milwaukee's technically my second favorite team behind the Yankees. So I win either way. That's the way I'm looking at it.
There we go.
Either way. So Brewers up 2-0. We'll keep you guys posted on that. Top of the night, no doubt. But yeah, Narvison. I don't know. To me, definitely doesn't have a job after this year if he doesn't turn it around. That's for sure.
Yeah,
no question about that. Am I cutting him mid-season if he keeps up his act like this? Absolutely not. This week, though. I mean, it's too late to cut him this week anyway. But I wouldn't even necessarily cut him next week unless he misses 2 kicks. If he misses a kick this week and a kick next week, gone. If he misses 2 kicks this week, then he's gone this week, right? Yeah. And if he misses 2 kicks in 2 weeks, then he's gone then. And he doesn't miss anything now, gone then, right? You can't miss 2 kicks in one game. That's a game changer. That's 2 drives killed. Yeah, no way. So, I mean, let's say 60-yarders they put you out there before halftime. That doesn't really count.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we could always trade for Daniel Carlson, Mike. We could always trade for him since the Raiders are, the perfect picture. We can always be trade for Devontae, and we also trade for Daniel Carlson just to come over here. We'll give you Braden Narvison. We'll give you a couple other guys. We'll throw in some. But yeah.
Is he on the trading block, Daniel Carlson? Or is the Raiders just trying to cut house?
I don't know.
I know the Devontae Adams situation. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we can. We'll go right into that. Yeah.
All right. Why don't you start? I've been talking a lot.
All right. So Devontae Adams has officially requested out of the Raiders. It happened earlier this week. There was an Instagram post. He wanted something on social media. I think it was X or Instagram. And Antonio Pierce liked it of him wanting out. That he liked the post or comment on that. And there's no word from both of them ever discussing about that whatsoever. And it all started too when Antonio Pierce was calling out the team about how some people aren't caring about the football team. They take it like a show, they take it like side job. They're not really caring about the team. And that kind of hurts some people in the team. And Devontae wants out. And the Packers traded him. And the Raiders are looking for a second-round pick. And what the Packers got out of that deal when they traded Devontae Adams was Christian Watson, who got hurt and cannot stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he's very good. And they got Quay Walker out of that.
I wouldn't say Christian Watson's very good if he stays healthy at this moment. He needs to show more to me. He can't stay healthy. Although that was a tough injury. It's not him.
Yeah.
He was rolled up on basically.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't necessarily say that Christian Watson has arrived yet. I think he has a lot to prove this season, and hope he does stay healthy. I want him to prove that. I do like Christian Watson. I want him to succeed. I'm not a Christian Watson hater whatsoever. I've actually been quoted on this show saying that when I went to Wisconsin for training camp last year, I thought he was super impressive on the bike drive, the dream drive, basically staying there and signing so many autographs for kids. So I'm a big Christian Watson fan as a person, definitely as a player as well, but he has not shown us what he needs to show with his draft stats and also the expectations that he's had. One, partially because of injuries, but two, even when he's been healthy, he hasn't been a number one receiver. So I want to see a lot more from Christian Watson. I hope that he gets healthy soon so we can start to see that, because I'm excited to see him succeed in this league, especially on the Packers. Yeah. About Devontae, look, Jeremy probably knows this, and I'm sure I've said this on the podcast. Devontae Adams was easily one of my favorite players on the Packers at the time. Aaron Jones was probably one of my favorites, other than, of course, Rodgers. But, the three favorites I had was Rodgers, Jones.
And you're repping the jersey, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. I have an Adams jersey. And I still wear it now because I don't want to spoil it for the viewers at the moment, but I do need to get a new jersey for an upcoming thing. But ever since Devontae left the Packers, and it's not just me being like, butthurt that they left the Packers. I'm not as big of a fan of Devontae, to be honest with you. I think he's became a bit of a diva since he's gone to the Raiders.
Yeah.
And he's not backing it up with his play either, I don't think. I mean, he was basically unstoppable in the package of Rodgers. Now, part of that, I think, is probably their rapport and their, relationship and bond and kind of being on the same page together, kind of what we saw with Jordy Nelson, who then went to the Raiders and didn't have the same. I mean, I think that was a lot with Rodgers, right? He was mentally on the same page with certain guys.
Yes. I'm
thinking about Randall Cobb, thinking about Jordy Nelson, thinking about Devontae Adams, James Jones. And, they kind of knew where they were going to go, and, no one else could beat them because they had almost a telepathy, like they were twins.
Yeah.
Rodgers, when he doesn't have that telepathy with somebody, with a receiver.
Like Gary Wilson.
Yeah. And you can see how Alan Lazard had a big game because he kind of had that from Green Bay. But Rodgers almost needs to be on the same page where, Rodgers is thinking 15 steps ahead of everybody else. You need to understand, forget about steps 1 to 14. Just get to step 15 as a receiver because Rodgers is already at 15, right? If you try to understand step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 15, you'll be too late, right? And then he's already at step 15. So you kind of have to know, you got to be on the same page. And that's what some of these receivers were with Rodgers over the years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And Adams wanted to go to the Raiders for a very big reason. That was Derek Carr, right?
And family too.
Yeah, Derek Carr. I know what you're saying. He's closer to home. He wants because of Derek Carr.
All right.
Because otherwise he'd be okay where he's at right now, right? He wants for Derek Carr. And closer to home. I get what you're saying, right? Rodgers left Green Bay. Rodgers was about to leave Green Bay. I think he knew that the writing was on the wall that Rodgers wasn't going to be in Green Bay for a long run. I don't think he wanted to be in Green Bay geographically by himself without Rodgers. He probably didn't know where Jordan Love was going to be. So he probably said, let me get out a year too early instead of a year too late, kind of like the Packers do, right?
Yeah.
Where they also don't want to give me an extension. I know what's coming on the horizon, which is Rodgers leaving. So now's my time to get out to play with my friend in Oakland and in Las Vegas, and then also be closer to home. I think that's what happened, right? What then happened was I don't think he realized that LA wasn't married to Derek Carr and that they wanted to get younger at the position, and the same fate that Rodgers was going to have at Green Bay, his buddy Derek Carr was going to have in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's where sort of the rifts happened. I don't think he wanted Derek Carr to ever leave. And he's probably right because the Saints are doing pretty well this year with Derek Carr at the helm. So now he's kind of left in no man's land, just like he was worried about being left in no man's land in Green Bay. And I think he never really liked that. They brought him Jimmy Garoppolo, and now they have Stidham. Is that who they have?
No, Minshew now.
Oh, it's Minshew, yeah. So now they have like two journeyman quarterbacks in a row.
Yeah.
And I think Adam's true colors are starting to come out. I think he's a bit of a diva, honestly. I think he was used to a good situation in Green Bay. Probably blew himself up with the situation he had in Green Bay. Didn't realize how good of a situation it really was.
Yeah.
All right, 1 second. Wow, the Mets just got a home run. Wow. 3-2 Mets.
No.
Oh my God. And I'm a Brewers fan. That's exciting now. I get 1 second. Sorry, guys. I got to text my friend.
So much for being a Phillies fan. You just wanted that. You wanted it. The curse continues for the Milwaukee Brewers, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, guys. This is really unprofessional. But that was Pete Alonso with a 3-run home run. And again, I'm more of a Brewers fan than a Mets fan, but that's pretty exciting.
Oh,
I mean, it's just top of the ninth. Game's not over yet, but that was an exciting. The Mets have been pretty exciting. Wow. And he knew it right off the bat too that was gone. Wow. Why? Well, because you're a Phillies fan, so you don't like the Mets.
No, and we faced the winner of this Met game.
So you want the Brewers?
Yes.
Why? Because you think the Mets are better?
They have the hot hand right now. Whoever has the hot hand, I don't want to have a piece of that. The only chance the Brewers, historically, Mike, because we're talking baseball real quick, guys, the Brewers have not done well in the postseason for the last couple years. If you look back at their record, it has been terrible. They have not won a playoff series in a while. And the last time the Phillies played the Brewers in the NLDS, Mike, the Phillies won the World Series that year. And in 2008, there was an election. And if the Phillies make it to NLCS and the Dodgers make it, the Phillies play them back in 2008 of that too. So, and if they make it to the World Series and it go against your team, Mike, the AL East, the Yankees, we faced the Rays in 2008. The script tells me that 2008 is happening again for the Phillies. That's all I'm hoping for as a Phillies fan. But back to the Devontae Adams situation, Mike.
Right. Okay. So a little bit of a back to regular scheduled programming. But I will be, keeping my eye on this game. So Devontae Adams. So he came from a good situation. That's all he knew was a good situation. So sometimes when all you know is a good situation, you think, my good situation might be coming to an end here. Let me go find another good situation. I think what he missed, right? And I think, maybe could miss this in other situations too, but that's all I'll say. When you start out with a really good situation and you think you can jump to another good situation because maybe that situation is coming to an end or there's a problem with it, I think it's very easy to think, let me just jump to this situation. It's going to be just as good, if not better than the old situation. I don't think that's always what happens. I think that's a trap that you get when you're in a good situation because your brain thinks this is a great situation, but there's problems, right? Look at Adams, okay? I got Aaron Rodgers, right? He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm number one quarterback. Number one receiver on this team. I'm getting all pro. All this stuff is great. Everything's going great, right? But it's in Wisconsin, right? That's away from my family. Do I really want to raise my kids in Wisconsin, right? That's a big negative. It's cold, right? I can see where it's a negative, right? There's a lot of value to thinking that's a negative, right? And then, oh, wait, Rodgers is leaving. There's an end here, right? I think I need to get out. So then he starts thinking, okay, well, I need to get my kid. I want to be closer to home. I want to be a better climate. Let me go to Las Vegas. So, don't forget, my friend is there, right? So he thinks, I'm going to jump to Vegas. I'm going to have the same success here. I get to play with my old friend. Everything's going to be great. This is the time to do it. He jumps, right? But then he gets there and he's like, oh, wait. Derek Carr is not going to be here for the long run. They just invested all of this money in me, so I'm here for the long run. I was worried about that in Green Bay, that they'd invest me in all this money. I mean, that I lose my all-pro quarterback, and now I'm stuck with Jordan Love in Wisconsin, right? But now they got rid of my friend Derek Carr, who's not Aaron Rodgers per se, right? So you had a drop in performance for that 1 year from the quarterback, and you also don't have, the long term of Derek Carr, because he's only there for 1 year. Mm-hmm. So he ended up being in the same position he was in Green Bay. Now, yeah, he fixed his location problem, but he actually created a huge problem in terms of his quarterback and the situation he was in, because Green Bay, you just need to give it a little bit more time and you would have been great, right? Because Jordan Love would have came in and he would have been Jordan Love's number one receiver. He would have been fine. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have changed about the location, right? It would not have changed about the location. But he had dealt with the location for that long. He had already got another contract. The location wasn't a killer of the deal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been there, right?
Yeah.
So I think he just needs to get over the fact that Rodgers was leaving. He needed to realize the situation was, this is my team. This is kind of where I belong. I've had a lot of success here. Not every player has success. Maybe my success isn't necessarily just me, where it's going to be easy to, plug and play in a new location. Maybe it's the coaching. Maybe it's the team. Maybe it's the environment. Maybe I need to stay in Green Bay and don't give up the situation. That was very rare that I had. And I think what he found was he thought he could jump to a new situation in Vegas, and it just didn't work out. And then I think he started to become a diva. I think instead of realizing, wow, I fucked up here kind of, and, I need to admit to that.
Yeah.
What mistakes I made. I think he became a little bit of a diva. He did that thing where he pushed that reporter, the camera guy down. And, people think, oh, he ran in front of him. But, you're a professional. You don't need to be,
And also the way he handled it too, Mike.
Yeah.
Like he didn't handle it well.
And honestly, he's been mediocre. I mean, if you're an all-pro receiver, top 5 receiver in the league, you can't be having the kind of production he's kind of had the past 2 years with any quarterback. So, I'm not a huge fan of Devontae anymore. I got to be honest. And the other thing is now he wants to trade. Guess who his 2 teams he wants to go to are?
The Jets and the Saints.
The Jets and the Saints. It's literally the same situation, right? He wants to go back to his quarterback friends.
We might as well capitalize on that trade then, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, so again, maybe he's more of a product of who's throwing the ball to him than he is a true receiver, right? Because if you're a Randy Moss, if you're a Terrell Owens, if you're one of the true greats at the position, I don't think you necessarily need Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady,
Patrick Mahomes
throwing you the ball. I think you're going to get open either way. Obviously, the guy needs to throw you the ball. But look at Justin Jefferson. Sam Darnold gets him the ball, and he still makes great plays. I think sometimes you need to take ownership of your own play and realize maybe he just had a good rapport with those quarterbacks and he was able to capitalize on it. But what that means then is that maybe he's not as good of an individual player that he thinks he is. So he needs to get humbled a little bit. Yeah. Oh, wow, the Mets scored again. It's 4-2. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I do wish Devontae the best. Would I like him back in Green Bay? Of course. I don't think that the Packers trade for him at this point. I think we have a pretty good young receiver core.
Yeah.
If they want to give him up for a 3rd, 4th round pick, sure. If they want a 2nd,
it just tell you about the trade too, because we got 2 players out of that deal, and if we get Devontae, then it shows you we really kind of fleeced the Raiders then, which won't happen for us trading for Devontae, but it kind of shows how we really fleeced them.
So we got 1st and 2nd now, right? Or we swap first?
We got No, we got a first-round pick out of that, which ended up being Quay Walker because we also got Devontae Wyatt that round. That was from our own pick. And then because of the second-round pick, we ended up with Christian Watson.
So we got first and second.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we fleeced him. I mean, they didn't even get the production out of him at all. That didn't even be a second-round pick production.
Exactly.
And it was a good thing we also didn't get Walker. I think that was part of the deal originally. Darren Waller.
Yeah, we wanted him in the deal, and Waller's retired, folks. He's on his little rap song.
Yeah, he's not even in the league anymore, right?
No, he didn't report to the Giants. He went on the retired list.
Wow. So
honestly,
everything worked out really well for the Packers. In that trade, in hindsight, and honestly, that was one of our first episodes, was when Devontae Adams got traded.
Yeah.
So 4 years later, I think we're sitting pretty as a team.
Yeah.
But again, I'd take Adams back, probably max a third-round pick at this point. Yeah. If somebody's gonna give him a second, go for it. I don't think the Jets go for him, and here's the reason why I don't think the Jets go for him. I think the Jets are done looking like Rodgers' bitch. That's taking it out of curse word, but I don't know if the GM has really played the game since Rodgers came there.
Well, if you ask Pat McAfee, he thinks the Jets GM is a smart guy.
Yeah, but like Tim Boyle's gone, right? That was Rodgers' buddy. He's gone. Randall Cobb is retired. I mean, I guess Oh wow, the Citi Field watch party. Sorry, it's actually in the field. I thought it was outside. That's pretty cool. I should have went. I was thinking about going to.
Well, he's here now, folks.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got off my train of thought. But
we were talking about Devontae.
Oh yeah, about Rodgers and his guys over there.
Yeah.
And who else did he get? He got Billy Turner. I don't think he's on the Jets anymore, right?
I don't believe so.
I mean, everybody that was on his long list of players is basically gone right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they're kind of done. That was a narrative that showed up. They didn't get David Bakhtiari, right? Granted, he's not even in the league, so maybe there's something more to that.
And they also traded for Hassan Reddick, and look how that's turned out. He hasn't shown up at all.
Yeah.
So you can put him in the trade to Devontae, but still.
But I do think the Jets would go for Devontae, just like any other team would go for Devontae at the right price. I don't think people are going to overpay from this point because he really hasn't been very productive the past 2 years. I don't think he's really worth more than a third at this point. And yeah, maybe someone will pay a second, but I think he's probably worth a third. I don't know. So I mean, could the Packers use him? Probably. Do I see him back in Green Bay? Unlikely. I think once you make those comments of, I don't really want to be in Green Bay with my family and stuff like that, how do you go back from that? I mean, it's kind of hypocritical to go back, but I mean, you could. But I don't know. I feel like that ship has sailed. It's not coming back. Devontae won't be a Packer. I don't think Brian Gutekunst really plays that game of bringing back people that are like nostalgic. I think at some point you got to move on and just cut your losses. Actually, gains. I mean, right? I mean, we gained from getting rid of him, but I just don't think I don't think he comes back. Although I would like him back in theory, but I don't know. Does him coming back just take away from the progress this team has made from a young standpoint? Possibly.
Yeah, that's a good question, but we'll see if he gets traded or not, which will most likely happen. We'll wait till the trade deadline to see who gets it because he already listed his teams. And one of those teams, Mike, was the 49ers, which I don't see that happening at all.
That's the other thing. Like, why does he get to list his teams? Like, he's just a diva almost. Like,
does he? Well, usually in that, Mike, does he have a no trade clause? That's the thing because he can list the teams that he wants to go with if he has a no trade clause. That is what I learned in my sports law class about no trade clause for players, according to my professor. So that's one of the things.
You can't control where he lands. And I mean, a no trade clause basically means that I can veto whatever whatever trade you give
Yeah.
me. Right? So I have to agree to it because I have the ultimate right to say, no, you can't trade me.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to give a list. He could say, just bring me who you want, who's your best deal, and I'll decide yes or no. But I mean, you might as well just get in front of it and say, like, these are the teams I will not go to. These are teams only these teams I'll go to.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Packers, I mean, they got a great deal, especially because the only team that Adams wanted to go to was the Raiders. So I really don't know what alternative the Packers had at that point other than trade him to the Raiders at their price.
Yeah.
And they still gave him first and second. I mean, I guess they could have just sat on him and let him hold out if he really wanted to. But the Packers apparently had no other choice but to trade him to the Raiders. So I'm surprised they gave so much up for him. I don't know. I think he's a little bit of a diva, I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a really good player on the Packers. He has been a really good player on the Raiders. And when you're supposed to be the guy of his caliber that he presents himself as,
Yeah.
you need to be elite wherever you go.
Oh, definitely.
And he hasn't been elite. So I can't say I'm a huge Devontae Adams fan anymore. I'm wearing his jersey.
So now Mike's being a hypocrite right there.
Well, here's the thing. I don't actually have a jersey right now for any current players other than I do actually. Jair Alexander. That's a signed one, so I don't really love wearing that one.
Mike, you could just put some duct tape and just put over Adams, just put your name on there and say you're number 17 for the Green Bay Packers.
I'm not doing that. That's tacky. But what I will be doing is I'll be getting at least 2 jerseys prior to my announcement, which maybe I should make the announcement right now.
Go ahead.
Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to talk about the jerseys. What jerseys do you have now, current players? Love?
Yes, Love.
That's it?
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
So I'll be getting a Love jersey. Also, just full disclosure, I get my jerseys from China. Hopefully,
yeah, same here.
Hopefully, the police don't listen to this. So. Oh, wait, double play Mets. That's it. Wow, the Brewers are eliminated. Wow,
no!
That's it. The Mets are moving on.
We see them Saturday.
The Mets and Yankees. It's still a possibility for the Subway Series. That's kind of why I was rooting for the Mets, I'll be honest. The Subway Series would be pretty amazing. I am a Brewers fan. I really am. And I'm not really a Brewers fan. I'm a Brewers fan, right?
Retract that.
I mean, they're my second team. I bought a Brewers shirt when I was in Wisconsin. I am a Wisconsin fan of, so
he's a Bucks fan too.
I would root. I am a Bucks fan. I don't root for the Knicks over the Bucks. I do root for the Bucks. Although I don't really watch basketball, so I only watch it in the playoffs. But if it was the Brewers and no New York teams, I would definitely just root for the Brewers and not even pretend to like anybody else. I am a Yankees fan since a kid, so I'm always going to be a Yankees fan, although, again, I don't watch all the games. But I have gone to a lot of Mets games recently because I have a lot of friends that are Mets fans. I like Citi Field better than Yankee Stadium. And I've never had any issues with Mets fans. They really didn't have a lot of success when I was growing up. So I have no hatred against the Mets. I don't mind them succeeding. I don't. If it's the Giants, no thanks. The Jets, not right now because of Rodgers. Other than that, I don't hate the Jets. But the Knicks, I really don't care about the Knicks. I mean, like, I'd actually kind of root against them because, I don't know, their fans are kind of annoying. Although I have no hatred against them. They're just kind of annoying. I'm not a big Knicks fan. But in baseball, I don't hate the Mets. So I would say the Mets are probably my second favorite team in the NL after the Brewers. But again, I don't really have any love for the Brewers. So they're kind of like 1A, 1B. So the Subway Series would be cool, though. Living in New York, being in New York City, like, that would be a cool experience. And that's kind of why I was a little bit more rooting for the Mets. I'll be honest. Like, even though I'm technically more of a Brewers fan than the Mets, I probably was rooting more for the Mets because the Subway Series would be an awesome experience. I was technically live for it, but I don't remember. I was 5.
There you go. Well, there's your quick take of Mike's sports teams. But let's move on.
Who I like. Okay, sorry. Going back to what we were talking about, Devontae Adams, right?
Yeah.
I'm just rambling. That's my bad. Devontae Adams. I forgot.
We were listing the teams, 49ers, him being a diva.
Oh, no, sorry. We're not talking about Devontae Adams. I'm supposed to do my announcement.
Oh, announcement. You said Jordan Love.
Right. So and we're talking about jerseys first. So jersey. So I'm definitely going to get a Jordan Love jersey. He's got the contract, so he's not going anywhere. So I'm going to get a Jordan Love jersey.
Okay.
You have to have the quarterback jersey once you know he's staying. Now I'm thinking about 2 other jerseys, so maybe up to 3. I mean, they're only like $20 each, so why not?
Okay.
Let's see if you can guess.
I think
one is sorry, 1 second. One is on offense, one is on defense.
Okay, I think I know the first one is Ja.
Now we have Alexander.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Defensively. Okay, I'm gonna take a guess, but I don't know of how much you like this one. I'm gonna say Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right because I'm super impressed by him. You know, having 3 interceptions in back-to-back games. Although
4. He's got 4, Mike. 4 in 4 games. He's had interception every
he
single
did have
game.
an interception game.
Yes,
game.
he did.
Yeah, I mean, that 4 interceptions in 4 games.
He's trying to break Blaine's
game.
record.
That's amazing. I mean, that's amazing. He's really good. I think he's going to be on this team for a long time. I think he's almost like Charles Woodson. You took the words out of my mouth. I'm a big fan. I'm I'm really glad we got him, and yeah, I'm just real excited about it. So that you know, this is his first year. I think this is the time to get Xavier McKinney jersey. I'm excited. He's a stud. I really like him. So you know, that's one. You're right. And now the offense is the other one. So you'll take away half the people.
Is it a wide receiver?
I can't tell you. That's too close.
All right. I will say.
But it can't be Jordan Love, right? If you're 30.
Yeah. Well,
you're 2 for 2. You're 2 for 2.
Jaden Reed.
2 for 2.
Let's go.
Jaden Reed is a really good player too, in my opinion, and I'm really excited. He just keeps getting better week in, week out.
I'm saying he's the next Tyreek Hill, Mike, because of his speed and how much of a gadget player he is. He's the next Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been saying it.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but
I'm just saying.
But yeah, Jaden Reed, I'm a big fan of. I've been saying it since the beginning. Like last year, he looked really good. You know, Christian Watson hasn't taken the step, and Jaden Reed came in right for it. Romeo Doubs hasn't taken a big step this year, although he's been last year. Like when Watson was out, he took a step up. But Jaden Reed is by far the best receiver on this team, best weapon on this team right now because I've been impressed by Jacob so far, but I think last game he really didn't have that good of a game, and I don't know. I think Jaden Reed by far the best player in this offense other than Jordan Love, and maybe even Malik Willis since he had really 2 good games there. So Jaden Reed is just my guy at this moment. My 2 guys, Jordan Love. Well, you got to get a Jordan Love jersey at this point, right? So
yeah.
But my 2 guys on this team right now are Xavier McKinney and Jordan Reed. So I need to get the jerseys.
There you go. Yep. Well, yeah. So
the announcement. So the jerseys, right, are for. Okay, let me see how to put this. So I have a trip booked.
Okay.
In November.
Okay.
It's going to be just over a week, and it is landing in Milwaukee on Friday. I'm going to drive up to Madison Friday night.
Okay.
Go to the Wisconsin, Oregon game Saturday.
There you go.
I haven't bought the tickets yet. What's kind of weird is, and I didn't know this because I'm not a big NCAA football fan, but they don't actually set the times until like the week before because of like TV scheduling, which is really annoying from like a travel perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming like Wisconsin's not that good. I'm not sure how Oregon's doing, but Wisconsin's not that good. I'm assuming it's probably
Wisconsin's not that good.
Yeah, they're not that good. So I'm assuming it's gonna be like a day game. Like I don't think it's gonna be a night game. So, but it could be like 4:00 because it's against Oregon, which is like Pacific time zone, right? Yeah. So I think it's probably like 4:00 is 3:00 in Central time zone. So it's probably like could be like 3:00. So I think it's a safe bet to say that. Although, sorry, wait. College is 12, 3, and 6, right?
Yes, but there's also
Eastern
8 o'clock as well.
Right? And
there's 8.
And it's 8, right?
There's also 10, but it's rare. But that's because the West Coast.
But that's the West Coast game. So it's either 12, 3:00 Eastern. So then it would be 2:00 there. So I mean, it's probably going to be early Saturday, right? So anyway, so I'm going to watch the game Saturday. Then I'm driving to Chicago after the game Saturday. Sunday, I'm going to go to the Packers-Bears game, or at least I'm supposed to be going to the Packers-Bears game. I looked at the tickets for that game, and right now the cheapest one just to get in the door for like one seat is over $400. It's kind of insane. I would like to go to that game, but spend over $400 on a football game at this point, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe if not, I'll go to a Packers bar in Chicago if I don't go to the game. But I am planning on going to the game. I'm sure the ticket's going to go down closer, and it's just public transportation to get there. So my plan. I haven't bought any of these tickets yet, so all this stuff could blow up in my face. But I do plan on going. I will be in there regardless. I think I'll have to go on the trip regardless. So technically get out of everything. So I could be saying this and not never go, but I do plan on going. So that is the plan so far. So right now I've gone to 2 games. Okay. So then I'm going to be in Chicago for a little bit, and I'll probably try to go to Red Wings. No, that's Detroit. Sorry, a Blackhawks game.
Blackhawks. Okay, Bedard.
Or maybe a Bulls game too, actually. So it's gonna be like a ton of sports games. But again, I'm only gonna go to those games if it's cheap because I'm gonna spend a lot of money. So if I could get it last minute, it's like $20. Yeah, sure, I'll take the ticket and go. Why not? But if it's like $150 to go to the game, no, I'm not doing that. I gotta, money doesn't grow on trees. But I definitely want to go to the Wisconsin game. I've never been to that game before. That would be cool. I mean, I'm going to that game regardless of the price because I would like to go.
You get to do the wave, Mike. You get to do the wave.
I want to do all that stuff. So either way, I'm going to the Wisconsin game. Yeah, I'll spend $1,000 to go to the Wisconsin game. Like I'm really excited for the Wisconsin game. The Packers Bears in Chicago. I would like to go. I've never been to the Chicago thing, but again, if it's over $400, probably not going to go. I'll just go to a Packers bar. But I am probably going to try to go, and I'm sure the prices will go down prior. So not too worried. The other games are only if it's cheap and it's something to do. But then I'm going to go to a national park in Illinois and do something kind of. I might go to Notre Dame actually. So that'd be kind of cool. I've never been there before. Fortunately, there's no sporting events, but I'm going to be there, so I'm going to do that. But I'll probably do some hiking with them. And then for the Packers 49ers game, Jeremy and we've met before. We actually met in person originally, but
it's in the intro
before. Yeah, right. That's true. We've never been to Lambeau together before, and we will. Although, here's the thing, Jeremy. I don't even know how much we're going to see each other, if we're going to see each other at all. Because
we could do pregame. We could do each other in the game. We could hang out.
Yeah, pregame we could definitely do. Right, so we'll definitely do pregame. But the thing is, when do you say you get there?
I usually get there about 2 hours before the game starts.
Okay. So we'll do pregame. Here's the other thing. We can talk about this offline if you want, but I'm going to be coming from Chicago, so I don't remember where my hotel is, whatnot. But if you want, you can come up with me. I already have the place, the hotel, so it's up to you. Up to you if you want to. But you can get back to me on that one. But it should be fun. It should be a fun trip, and we'll maybe we'll do an episode from Wisconsin or something. Live stream our pregame event. Exactly. But after the game, I'm probably gonna have to go. But I have to go back to Chicago. I'm sure you have to go. So like, since you don't go up on Friday, if you came up on Friday, that's what I'm saying. It'd be a lot more fun. We could go to Stadium View or something. But that's the thing. With only coming up the day of, there's not a ton of time. Yeah. But yeah, it should be fun. So so I'm definitely gonna go to that game. So it should be a fun trip.
There you go.
That's my announcement.
Sweet. There we go.
We tried to go to the NFC Championship game.
That
didn't happen. But yeah, John and his family are going to the Cardinals game in 2 weeks, so that should be fun for them.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool. It's the Packers 49ers. And here's the other thing, Jeremy. I have a feeling, and I don't know, but I'm not part of the Cheesehead TV. What do you call it? The paid group?
Yeah, Patreon.
Patreon, but they might be doing. I feel like this might be the game that they do their meetup.
Ooh,
I don't know. I mean, I just made that up. but I just feel like it's in this. They usually do it like mid-season. This is like around mid-season.
Yeah.
Like it's an opponent I feel like they would do it against. I don't know. I have to look into it, but I feel like it could be. But the thing is, you have to get there a day earlier. So that's what I'm saying. So you want this, just hitch a ride with me.
Okay.
So the only thing is, I'm not sure if I have two queen rooms. I think I do. But yeah, you don't have to pay for it. I already had the room anyway. So we'll go and we'll have a good time.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, it should be pretty awesome going to we'll be having our first Packer game in Lambeau, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, what?
We'll be having our first Packer game together.
Oh, together. Yeah, but we're not going to be sitting together. Either way, I don't think we're going to sit together. So
No.
it's all right. Yeah, we'll have to do that another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's an exciting announcement there. So we've never actually been to Wisconsin together. This will be the first time that we're in the same game. Again, might not be a ton of time, but we'll definitely get a picture. Definitely have a new intro after this.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. We're gonna take a video in the intro.
Oh, we're definitely taking a video for the intro.
Yeah. You better be drinking pregame.
Oh, we will be having a fun
time. Now Jeremy knows how to drink, apparently. So what do you call it? Have you had Spotted Cow yet?
No. I've heard of it, but no, I have not.
Don't drink it until we get together. Then what do you call it? We'll take a video of you drinking and put it on the podcast. Okay. Don't drink it beforehand. That's the famous Wisconsin beer. Or you had the Cheesehead TV beer too, which I tried last year. I did a review of it.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Okay.
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Okay. There you go.
I like the can a lot, but the beer itself, it wasn't bad. There's nothing wrong with it, but nothing like I'm not craving it right now.
Yeah. Gotcha. But yeah. All right. Do we want to move on to our last segment, Mike, where we talk about this week?
The last segment. Yep.
All right. We head to LA, as we mentioned before. The Packers taking on the Los Angeles Rams here in LA. The last time I can remember the Packers taking on the Rams was back in the Rose Bowl Coliseum. And that's where Ty Montgomery had that crucial drop bump. He fumbled the football, and the Packers lost the game because of that. But they almost beat the Rams, who were undefeated that time. I believe they were like 5 or 6-0 that time. The Packers almost beat them. But the Rams have not been looking good. Their defense has been not so great. Their offense, their two best players are hurt and will not be playing that this week, which is Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. They got Kyren Williams is going to be the test to watch out for. They still have Matthew Stafford back there, and the offensive line is shaky too. So I definitely see this as a rebound game for the Packers here. And Jordan Love has looked a bit better from what we're hearing in practice. He was a full participant today, Mike, in practice, which is good. Jair also practiced, so did Elton Jenkins. Those were the big things there for health-wise, but there were some injuries that were annoyance here and there. But overall, the Packers gained some of their guys back, which is good because we needed them. And Jair, he was limited, which was not so good, but it's good to see him back playing this week, though, folks. That's one of the big positives. But Mike, what's your thoughts on this game as we head into it?
Yeah, I think the Rams definitely beat up. I think that this is a game that, I don't want to use the words must win, but the Packers need to win this game. They need to win this game because last week would have been huge for their season. They didn't get it done. Not only did they didn't get it done, they kind of got embarrassed at home. They need a bounce-back game, and this is a good game to do it against a team that's beat up that's really not that impressive so far this season. This is a game you need to win. Now, it is a trap game, considering it's in Los Angeles, and for some reason the Packers can't be in a Pacific time zone historically. But I do think the Packers will win the game, although I think they would win the game last week. Yeah. And I think if they don't win this game, I think we're in trouble. I think that's when you start to sound some alarm bells and say, okay, we're now 2-3 going into a stretch that is the Cardinals next week, right? Yep. And then
the Houston Texans coming up.
Yeah, this is not an easy schedule. I think we always knew that this was not going to be an easy schedule. We got the Texans, who of course look pretty good so far. The Cardinals are what's their record?
They're 1-3, I believe. Yeah, 1-3 this week. But they have looked impressive in the games they've played.
They beat up on the Rams, right? So they better if they beat the Rams, the Packers can't beat the Rams in theory, right? Like that's not good. But I think you could win these next few games. You got a big game against the Texans. That's to be a big game.
That's definitely. That's the
whiteout
game.
The Jaguars, who don't look too good so far.
No.
So look, if the Packers could win the next 4 games, we'll be 6-2 going into a huge game against the Lions in Green Bay, right? This next 4-game stretch is big. You need to start it off with a win on the road against the Rams. You need to come home, win against the Cardinals. You need to beat the Texans because look, the Texans are a good team. It's an AFC opponent.
And the
team
Vikings,
you don't see that often.
And the Vikings beat the heck out of them too.
Yeah. So that's big. I think the Packers win the Jaguars game. So we got a big 4-game stretch here where you could really make a dent in the season and get a big, really struggling into the green column, right? Right now we're at the black. We want to get into the green. Then we need to beat the Lions because the Lions are good too, probably good too. That's like a Vikings game right there. You need to beat them at home. Yep. The Bears. Then our game against the 49ers. The Dolphins, who, Tua has been hurt.
We don't know if he's going to come back.
Right. Then you got the Lions again. Seahawks in Seattle. Got to travel there again. The Saints have been on fire. Vikings again and Bears. So right now, I mean, the last part of the season is a chunk of games where you got some divisional games, you got some tough games. This this next 4-game stretch is a big stretch for me because you got some teams that are beat up. You got some AFC teams in there. They're teams that you can beat, and you got to win.
You got to take advantage.
And set ourselves up for these big games coming up against the Lions, coming against the Vikings again, the 49ers, Bears. Like, there's going to be some big divisional games down the stretch. We need to get our footing and set a strong foundation for the season in these 4 weeks after a pretty bad loss against the Vikings, after a loss against the Eagles, which, nobody really gave us that win to begin the season.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a loss. That was kind of a dead game, regardless. It was in Brazil. So that was a game to give. The Vikings game was an important game in this season. To miss that up, not good, but that's in the past. We now need to take advantage of the next 4-game stretch starting this week, this Sunday against the Rams in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get this win. Then we need to go beat the Cardinals at home, bring the momentum and start to gain some momentum. Like you said, you don't want to play the team that's hot. The Packers are not hot right now after what happened in the Vikings, although they were hot down the stretch of that second half.
Gives them a little momentum.
A little bit of momentum, right? If they completely deaded that game out and lost the game 40-0, whatever, like then you're completely flat. They did come back. They almost won the game. So beat the Rams, beat the Cardinals, beat the Texans, beat the Jaguars. We're in the driver's seat. You lose this game, and you got to go turn it around, beat the Cardinals. Texans are going to be tough, right? And you don't have as much momentum going into that game. Jaguars, right? And then you got the tough stretch of the season after that. I think it's an important game. I think the Packers need to win. I think they will win. But I think it's important to see Jordan Love play and let loose a little bit more. I want to see him not, basically nurse that knee as much as he did in the first half of the game. I don't really think he did as much in the second half. So, I want him to see more play like he played in the second half than he played the first. But again, don't forget they were giving him a lot under the middle in the second half of the Vikings. So I want to see a much better performance from the Packers, a 4-quarter performance against this team. I think this is a big game. I think this game is going to set the tone for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Bounce back game, win. I think we got a shot to do a lot of good things this season. Yeah. Lay an egg in this game. I mean, you can't count them out. It's still too early to count them out, but I don't think this is a Super Bowl team if you lose this game.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, it's not over. It's not over, but it's not a playoff game, but it's a very important game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got the Lions on a bye this week. I mean, you got the Vikings playing the Jets, which is London. So we'll be seeing – that's the first game on Sunday we'll be seeing, Mike, of London. So we get to see Aaron Rodgers in London, which last time didn't go well because obviously he had the broken finger, but still. And then, of course, you got the Bears taking on the Panthers. So you really need a win this week if you want to kind of stay with the pack because the Jets haven't looked so good and the Panthers, well, it's the Panthers. So you can't expect much against the Bears. But if the Bears still annoyance and Caleb Williams is not that great so far this year, I will say, though. But, yeah, I mean, you got to watch out for that. I will say, though, Mike, the one advantage that we can say, like, how we always do terrible in the hot weather, is we're playing a dome. We're playing in a dome at LA. So, but the question is going to be if they. I don't think they'll open this. I don't think they'll open the roof because
is
I
the
had
roof
not.
retractable? I didn't think it was.
I thought they opened it for one game for the Chargers.
I'm pretty sure that the roof is not retractable. I think what it is, it's like it's kind of open to the sides to the.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. Let me see. What is it? It's SoFi Stadium, right?
Yes, SoFi Stadium.
I could be wrong with this, but I'm actually kind of curious though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm
no,
saying
it's
that
fixed roof. It's fixed roof.
Okay,
So
that gives us
right
an
about that.
advantage. I think that gives us a little advantage for that purpose.
Yeah. I was right. I was 100% right there. Okay, so the roof doesn't. It's not like an enclosed stadium, right?
Yeah.
So there's a roof, but the stadium's like in it. So it's like almost like an umbrella over the stadium, right? So like the air can come in. So like the ocean breeze can come in.
Yeah.
But the weather, like the rain, can't come in because there's like an umbrella over the stadium. So it's like a stadium within like a canopy is really what it is. So, it's open to the air. It's not open to the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no. So I will say that gives the Packers a little bit of advantage when they've historically done bad in hot weather games. But Mike, what are your keys to the game for the Packers? Because you said Packers got to win, got to get some momentum, and like got to take off here with the schedule here. So what are your keys for the Packers to win this game, sir?
I honestly didn't put too much thought into this.
Okay.
Let me think about it real quick.
Okay.
I do think stopping the running game, like you said, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua is not playing. So I think stopping the running game is going to be big. Force Stafford to beat you in the air against whoever they are. Don't forget they also lost. Sorry, no, I was thinking about that team. Thinking about the LA Chargers. I was thinking it's going to say they lost Keenan Allen, but that's the Chargers.
Well, they don't have Van Jefferson's not there anymore.
Yep.
For the Rams, so they got Tutu Atwell. I remember him.
Yep. So let them beat you with whoever they have out there at receiver. Got to stop the running game. On the offensive side of the ball, I think you got to stop with the penalties. I think you got to stop with the penalties. The penalties have been a big problem this play this team this season.
Especially the holding.
Yeah. I think that's going to be an important, goal of this game is to not have the penalties that the Packers have had. I think I want to see Jordan Love definitely have a bounce back game from, a first half perspective and basically, have a game they really haven't had this season since he was out there first two wins. Then, he did have a career game last week, and people are probably going to say, what do you mean? Like, he had a career game last week. But, again, a lot of that was kind of garbage time. So I want to see him from the get-go come up and take advantage of the game, earn the contract that he kind of got in the offseason.
Yeah.
And, I want to see Josh Jacobs have a big game because I really do think that we need to start relying on him pounding the rock. And here's the thing about Jacobs. He's gotten down pretty easily. He kind of gets touched and he goes down. A little bit disappointed in him so far, although I know he played really well against the Colts, and I didn't really watch that game. So, I don't know. I do think that we want to see stop the run, get the running game going on us. I want to see Jordan Love have success. and keep beating my boy Jaden Reed. That's not really a key to the game. I just want to see that.
That's a key. You can put that as a key.
But I think that's going to happen regardless because Jaden Reed is a man. And McKinney, 5 in a row. What's the record that he's going for?
Oh, what was I got? Ron Bland, IT record. Hold on. No, that's. Oh, wait. It is. Oh, it's the same pick 6. Oh, it was the NFL record for how many pick 6s, and he got 5 pick 6s. Last year set a new NFL record, but I don't know what the. It's not telling me what his record is. We can find it out later, but no, yeah. I think the turnovers have to be a big thing for me because the Packers do well on turnovers. I'd like to see a better red zone because red zone still needs to be worked upon with the offense. It's gotten slightly better, but we like to see a bit better job from that, especially because we don't have to have many field goals happen unless it's like game of the line. You got to make the field goal. Of course, we want him to make the field goal, but I want more touchdowns. I want this red zone to be better for this offense. That's something I definitely want to see better. Penalties cannot happen. That's specifically on the offensive line. I'm tired of the holding calls, especially when Josh Jacobs gets a big run, Mike. It has not worked well. It has not worked well every time he gets that, so that's a big thing for me. I would love to see the pass rush. I need to see the pass rush get better. Specifically, Kenny Clark could get a sack, but I would like to see him get more constant pressure in the pocket, especially on Matthew Stafford. And Stafford's known to get sacked a lot, so he's a sack quarterback. He's not that mobile. I would like to see Rashawn Gary get a feast. That is definitely one of my keys, is to see the pass rush get better. Win the trench battle is really what I would say for both sides of the ball. So I would say that. And then Jordan, again, just play better, have more confidence in yourself, and run game go well. But most importantly, the red zone. The red zone is the most important thing for me, I would say, though, folks. That's the most important for me. And, yeah, special teams, just make the field goals. Make the field goals when you have to. That is all I would say, though.
Yeah, this is a big game for Narvison. Otherwise, we're gonna have butternut squash in the chat next week, asking why did we cut Narvison? No, look, I think it's an important game, and I think he's gonna bounce back. I'm not too concerned. I think he's better than Carlson. I think he'll have a bounce back. If not, then I'm on board. Let's give it a.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would just like to see it. I would like to see him have a bounce back, but I would also like to see a lot of other guys have a bounce back, and especially like start getting stuff in the season. Like obviously we see Xavier McKinney is the hot hand right now on that defense, but you like to see again Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, like to see him do a bit better. I mean, like we haven't seen much. I mean, honestly, you had the Tennessee game where there was a lot of sacks and everything, but you also got to consider Tennessee had one of the worst offensive lines too, so that definitely plays a factor into it. But you need to see Rashawn Gary really step up, and I'm literally waiting for him to have a step-up game. I need to see that happen.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think Lucas Van Ness is taking a big step, I got to say.
Him and Devontae Wyatt, I give –
Wyatt got hurt.
He did get hurt. But so far in the season, he did step up and play good.
Yeah.
He's a lot better.
Van Ness, I think, has played well. My thing is, I'm pretty disappointed in Gary. I've been saying it for a while. He's got a lot of talent. He's a talented guy. He's a strong guy. He seems to do one thing and one thing only: run at the quarterback.
Yeah.
The quarterback gets around him. He kind of looked silly. He looked silly against Darnold, where like he kind of didn't lost contain. I don't know. I'm a fan of Gary. I think he's a good rusher. Is he an elite rusher? I don't think so. Sorry. I think I've kind of seen enough. I think he's an above average pass rusher. I think that's what he is. Above average to pretty good, if not very good pass rusher. But very good, I think is his max. I don't think he's getting to elite anytime soon, if ever. I think we've seen enough of him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's an elite pass rusher in this league. I just don't. Like, he's not a TJ Watt. He's not a what do you call
Myles
it?
Garrett.
Myles Garrett,
Nick
Ian
Bosa.
Hutchinson, Nick Bosa, the guy on Max Crosby, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's just not that guy. He's not, and
No.
he has the potential to be, but he just
He
isn't.
does.
I hope he gets there. Again, I'm not trying to shit on our players, but I've seen a lot of snaps from him, and sometimes he looks really good. Sometimes he looks pretty mediocre. Another guy that I'm a little bit disappointed in, Kenny Clark. I don't know. I think he's been pretty mediocre for a long time. I think he's been pretty mediocre for a long time. Yeah. Lucas Van Ness, though, I thought had a pretty good game last week. He was all over the place. But two guys that I really want to see step up, Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary. I think they've been very mediocre for a long time, both those players.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you.
And now when I say mediocre to their standards, right?
Yeah.
It's almost a compliment to call them both mediocre because their standards and their potential are really high.
Yeah.
And they just haven't been living up to it. So. All right. So what's your prediction for the game? Let's do that and then we'll head out.
All right. My prediction for the game, I think we win. I will say by 7 points here. I think it's by a touchdown personally because I think they'll keep them in the game for a little bit. But I think, like you mentioned, they got to get started off with the hot hand. They got to start the game off with a touchdown. I think LaFleur's game plan is going to be win the coin toss, take the ball first, and go it down the throats because I think the game plan is going to be trying to take the ball out of Kyren Williams and make sure they don't run the ball because that's what the Rams are known for. And if they take the ball out, then Stafford's forced to throw and they get behind so much of points. I think that's a big thing. So I will say 7 points. I think they'll keep it still close, but again, that's gonna be one of the game plans from LaFleur, I feel like, and win the time possession because he has done pretty well in that category for winning that.
I'm gonna say two touchdown win, 31-17.
Okay.
This is our game to get on track. I do think this team. I know somebody said I was a downer in our first episode back, and that was not about the Packers; it was more about myself. But anyway, 31-17. I think this is the time that this team shows what we're made of. We get back on track because I do think this is a good team. I do think we're gonna have success this season. I do think we're making the playoffs. Do I know if we're gonna make a divisional run? I'm not sure. I do think this team is one of the 3 wild cards, at least, the very least.
Yep.
So I think this is our get back on track game. I do think that we win the majority, if not all, of this next 4 block of games. Sets ourselves up for, a stretch period against some divisional rivals where we're going to need to win those games, and it's going to be tough because this is a good division. It's probably one of the better divisions in the league. You got the Vikings, you got the Packers, you got the Lions, and you got the Bears who look okay. They looked okay. But honestly, the Packers would probably look okay at this point. So I wouldn't really give the Bears any more grief than I'd give the Packers at this point. And the Vikings, I'm super impressed by. I got to be honest. I hate to say it, but I have been fairly impressed by them. I'd say that right now they're probably the best team in the league. Although you obviously give it to the Chiefs at some point. But, I think the Vikings are right now the best team in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think this is one of the harder divisions, if not the best division in the league.
Finally. It finally is when for many years it's never been that. It's always been usually the NFC West, but now times have changed, folks.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah. All right, folks. We appreciate you tuning in. And as we've been on for 90 minutes so far, folks, as we've talked a lot about Packer football. We did talk about baseball. We talked about Mike's favorite baseball team. Shame for the Milwaukee Brewers. So
yeah, I went a little bit of a tangent on that in my trip. Yeah. But,
sorry, Brewer fans, for losing out on the playoff there.
Yes, apologies to my second favorite team, but I guess my 2A team won, or 2B team. So.
But yeah, so we will be here next week once again here, folks, and hopefully we come off a Packer dub, folks. And yeah, as I mentioned before, where you can find us, as we always do, is on the Twitter page. Hopefully, we will be able to stream the next time with Twitter as well. Hopefully.
Better be. Otherwise, no one's going to find us, unfortunately. We need to get back on Twitter.
Exactly. So we are on Twitter. That's PackReacts. And, of course, we're on my YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that. I will mention quickly about my channel real quick, and then we'll turn off. I will probably be a little late on posting my GOAT series video on the Indianapolis Colts. So I'll be – because I'm a little busy on schoolwork, so – apologies for that. But yeah, so hopefully the Packers win. And if you want to listen to us, you can just, if you don't want to watch us live, you can listen to us on Spotify. Just look at PackReacts, and you can find us on Spotify, and you can play that podcast episode if you want to go on a walk, go on a hike like Mike does, or you want to just go in the shower and you just want to listen to it. Well, that's your choice there, folks. Or if you're very bored at work and you just want to have a lunch break and everything, perfect to watch, folks. Perfect.
I wish I could be bored at work right now, but I'm getting destroyed. So,
yeah.
So sometimes it's good, background things to listen to. But I don't
Exactly.
know. Maybe you hear me rant about my baseball team. You're like, get this guy off. We're going to focus on work. I'm not sure. But, hey, it's fun for us, right?
Yeah, definitely. But, yeah. Well, we'll see you next week, folks. Have a great day. And as always, go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go. Let's do this.
Woohoo.